Hello, everyone. I'm trying to see if it's working. Okay, I think it's working. Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome. Happy Friday. I am Jillian, as you know. I'm the holistic hormone hippie, and it's been a really productive Friday, and I got to enjoy a gluten-free vegan waffle from Southern Squeeze, so that makes the Friday even better. I am legally blind, so I have my tech wizard in the room with me, and he's going to help with any comments or questions that you might have. So you can just pop them there in the feed, and he'll read them off to me. And yeah, that's how you'll get to me. But if I don't acknowledge your questions right off, that it's not because I'm rude. It's just I'm legally blind. Okay. So I am here because I had a really amazing Queen Bee tea on Tuesday evening, and the topic was bloating right before your period. Um, and it, it was like a really awesome tea party, and we connected and we meditated, and then I told the participants about like the solution, like one simple step you can do to help prevent bloating, and they were like so shocked that it was so easy peasy that I wanted to come live and share it with all of you, because I know, bloating is something that we all experience, and we think that it's a normal part of our period, that we're just supposed to be bloated, and that's just normal, and we're just supposed to deal with it, right? Because that's what we've been taught. But that's not true, right? Bloating is just one of very many symptoms when we're on our period that happens when there's an imbalance. And it doesn't have to happen. So once your body is balanced and in alignment, bloating is very like it's just insignificant. It doesn't even affect you very much. You might like feel a little puffy around the low belly area, which is normal, and you might, gain a pound, which is normal, right? That's all like within a balanced state. But where it becomes out of balance is when you fluctuate your weight, fluctuates, you know, 2 weeks before you start your period, you might gain somewhere between 5 to 10 pounds, right? Some of you might experience bloating where it feels like from head to toe you experience it, and maybe even in your fingers. You can't wear your rings right before you start your period. Um, Others might experience it like in their belly, like after they eat, like they just feel like they've eaten an elephant. All of that is things that you might experience when the hormones are out of balance. They're out of whack is what I like to call them, out of whack. So all of that isn't our normal, right? Our bodies are so stinking smart. They're so smart. And our bodies are here, our feminine body is here to experience life from a place of pleasure, a place of experiencing it by following our desires, a place of being joyful and happy and being able to wear the clothing we want, no matter what time of the month it is, being able to play with our children or have sex or whatever it might be, no matter what time of the month, right? We're not supposed to feel like big puffer fish, right? That's not our reality, right? Our reality is these divine, sensual manifestation goddesses, right? Like that's our reality. So there's a way, very, very simple way you can figure out why you're experiencing the bloating. And I'm going to give you one thing you can start today that can help decrease the bloating the next time you're on your period or about to start your period, right? So that way you don't have to feel like the pufferfish. You can feel like that, that awesome queen bee, right? So I say queen bee because that's what we are, right? We are manifesting. We are women in power. We are the synergy of our homes. We are movers and shakers, and we're getting shit done. And to be that queen bee, we have to have our hormones balanced so we can really do what we want, right? We can manifest. We can keep the synergy. We can be the entrepreneur or whatever your purpose here on life is, right? Okay, so my mouth runs away, coming back to how to know what's going on in your body. Super simple. The big reason why we experience bloating right before we start our period, it has to do with the hormone estrogen, right? So that's a popular hormone. We all usually know what that is and how it's in our body, and it's the female hormone, right? But it's just one of very, very, very many hormones that you have that's in your body. But it can cause bloating by two different ways. Okay. So you can either have too much estrogen in your body, so it's like way up here, or you can have too low estrogen, so it's way down here, right? So the goal is to have a very balanced estrogen level. And so when you're about to start your period, it drops a little bit, right? Because you do want your estrogen to drop a little bit because that signals to your body, hey, it's time to bleed. It's time to shed. It's time to start our period to shed the endometrium, right? The uterus lining. So it needs to drop. That's normal. That's that has to happen to start the cycle over again. But the problem is if we have way too much estrogen and it's way up here, then when it drops, it only drops a little bit. And so, but then our progesterone drops way like really drops, right? And the progesterone with the estrogen, it's in charge of telling your body it's time to start its period, your period. And so they both drop, right? But if the estrogen is way up here and it just drops a little, and then the progesterone is here, but it drops way down here, right? So there's this huge gap between those hormones and they can't talk to each other very well. They don't signal to your body very well, right? So when that happens, you feel bloated and you feel bloated from head to toe, right? So when there's way too much estrogen in your body, that's when you get your fingers all swelly, your toes swelly, your legs, your ankles, right? You're retaining water, okay? And and that's okay, right? That's how you're experiencing your period now, but now we can shift and change that. Because if you are one of those who feels like the big pufferfish right before you start your period, bloated from head to toe, then you know, okay, I have too much estrogen. Okay? No big deal. One way you can reduce estrogen in your body, help flush it out, balance it out, bring the estrogen levels a little lower to meet that progesterone level. It's super simple, right? I always start with foods. Eat more carrots right before you start your period, like a week, maybe even 2 weeks before you start your period. More carrots, all the carrots. Eat them raw, eat them cooked, eat all the carrots. And what happens is carrots bind with excess estrogen in your body and helps flush it out, right? And so as the estrogen is being flushed out, then the level drops a little more to meet that progesterone, and you won't feel as puffy. You won't feel as bloated, okay? So, right, so that's easy peasy, right? One way, steam more carrots, no big deal, right? But you might be thinking, wait a minute, I do feel like, I do experience bloating before I start my period, but I don't feel like the pufferfish, right? I don't feel bloated from head to toe. My fingers don't get bloated, but I feel it more in my low belly and right after I eat with like indigestion and stuff like that. And I got you, right? Because there are two ways we can experience bloating before we start our period, right? It's either the big pufferfish or it's you feel like you've eaten an elephant, right? And you're burping and you feel big in your belly area, right? More in the belly. So that's usually caused by too low estrogen, right? Your estrogen was kind of low before you started your period, and then your body needs to start. And so it drops the estrogen even more, and it plummets, right? And so then you don't have, I mean, you do have, but it affects the enzymes in your body to break down the food, right? Because estrogen helps with the enzymes and helps then like tell the body how to break it down and how to absorb it and stuff. And so then you can have that indigestion and that big puffy belly like you just ate an elephant, right? So too little estrogen. Now you know, right? So now there's one thing you can do is so stinking simple, easy peasy. Go into food again, eat broccoli. Yes, broccoli. Eat it a week before you start your period, maybe two, right? Eat it during your period. Cook it though. So that's the big thing with the broccoli. Try not to eat it raw. I mean, it's okay if you do sometimes, but try to cook your broccoli, okay? Steam it, bake it, broil it. I don't know, put it in a soup, whatever you want. Eat your broccoli. And the broccoli, what it does is it helps estrogen production, right? It helps bring the hormones into alignment, has indoles in it, and so it helps with the whole hormone level to lift it back up, to balance it out, right? Because it's part of that family of foods that do that, okay? Right? So that's it. That's easy peasy, right? So that's two things you could do depending on your situation. So if you feel like the puffer fish from swollen fingers all the way from head to toe, eat more carrots. If you feel like you've eaten an elephant, no matter what, right before you start your period, you're super bloated, in the belly, eat some broccoli. It's that easy, right? And that's how I coach, right, within my program, Primrose Period Perfection, is we start simple, right? Simple is usually the best solution. Starting with foods, with mindset, with herbs like herbal teas and seeds and stuff. And we start by piecing it together, one little piece at a time throughout your cycle, right? So each cycle, we put another element in for a holistic health, right? I don't just like throw like all the steps on you all at once, right? Because then that feels overwhelming and it's a lot, right? But it doesn't have to be. It can be fun and be one little tool, one little step each cycle. You implement one thing each cycle, and your cycle is your period, first day of bleeding, your period, that's first day of bleeding, not spotting. First day of bleeding is the first day of your cycle, and then to the next time you bleed, right? And you implement one thing, one tool, right? And I call that menstruation manifestation, right? Is part of that whole process, right? Which is a whole nother live that I can talk about later. But for today, let's stick with bloating, right? If you feel bloated, either way, pufferfish or you've eaten an elephant, try out, eating the carrots, eating the broccoli, and let me know how it goes. You can always send me a DM. I answer my DMs. That's the best way to get to me. And if you're someone who, you want to dive a little deeper into this whole process of like using your body, your smart body, to heal how you experience your period, right? To actually have a period that is fun and low stress, very comfortable, and you want to start your 2023, with this whole new idea of your smart body as this manifestation power. Send me a DM, right? I am taking 4 clients starting in January for a one-on-one coaching, and it's a 3-month program, and you get the whole Primrose curriculum. Plus, you get other goodies and yoga classes and everything, and then I'll help you implement each week, right? We'll implement steps into your life throughout your menstrual cycle, and each step will correlate with each week of your menstrual cycle, which has its own power, its own magic to create your awesome balanced hormones, right? Your happy hormones. Okay? So that's me. And if you have any questions, like I said, post them in the chat. I'm going to ask Nathan, my tech wizard, if there's anything. Is there anything?
I had Taylor Newhart said hi. This is Taylor Newhart.
Oh, hi, Taylor. Hi. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, y'all, I'm going to go, and I hope you have a wonderful Friday. If you need anything, send me a DM and let me know how it goes eating the carrots or the broccoli, or let me know what you experience, when you start your period. I'd love to know, love to connect. Okay. So wishing y'all all the best, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Always takes me a second. Y'all have to be patient.